Coach Garner here from hockeytraining.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about in-season nutrition. Now, this is exactly what I want you to do in season, but this is also known as a body recomposition methodology. Recomposition simply means you're going to stay at the weight you're currently at, but you are going to get leaner and build muscle mass at the same time. So when it comes to energy balance, there's basically three states of energy that you can be in. Hypercaloric, where the calories you're taking in exceed the calories you are expending on a daily basis, so therefore you will gain weight. There is hypocaloric, where the calories you are taking in are less than the calories you are expending on a daily basis, so therefore you will lose weight and become leaner. But then there is also a state of maintenance. Now, a state of maintenance is where calories in are equal to calories out on a day-to-day basis. Maintenance, when done properly, is recomposition, because you can maintain your current weight while getting more muscle mass and dropping body fat at the exact same time. But it's very important that you do this correctly. I want you to do this in the off season. If your goal is recomposition, you're comfortable with the weight you're currently at, but you want to create a recomposition in your current body composition. But I also want you to do this in season, because I don't like hockey players chasing body composition goals during the in season. So for example, if you want to build a lot of muscle mass during the in season, this is a mistake, because a lot of hockey players will want to enter a hypercaloric state during the in-season. I don't like when they do this, because if you want to build a lot of muscle mass, you got to have a lot of training volume to make sure that that muscle mass, that weight you gain, truly is muscle mass. But during the in-season, you can't do that much volume without sacrificing your performance. So when you try to gain a lot of weight during the in-season, it's almost positive that that's going to be like a 50-50 split between fat and muscle, because you're simply not doing the adequate training. Well, if you're training properly, that is. You're simply not training adequately in order to facilitate maximum muscle growth stimulus so that your diet can provide maximum muscle growth adaptation. So we don't want to chase muscle growth and weight gain during the in-season, because our training program doesn't reflect the idea that that weight gain will go in the right places. Conversely, we don't want to chase fat loss during the in-season either, because one of the most important aspects, or rather the number one goal of the in-season, is performance. And if your number one goal is performance, as a byproduct, your number one goal is recovery, because you are only going to perform to the degree that you are recovered. However, how well do you think you're going to recover on a restrictive diet? Not very well. That is going to drive fat loss. It is not going to drive hockey performance. This is why I don't like hockey players chasing body composition goals during the in-season. Because if you go too high for weight gain, you're going to gain a lot of body fat, because you're not on a muscle building program. You're on an in-season program. And if you go too low, well, now you're under-recovered for your practices in your games. Both strategies kill your hockey performance, which is the opposite thing we want to do during the in-season. However, the beautiful sweet spot during the in-season for all hockey players watching this right now is incorporating body recomposition. Because when you eat at maintenance with a recomposition macronutrient setup, then you will be able to build muscle and drop body fat at the same time, not at the expense of your recovery. So you're able to get a better physique, maximally recover, and maximally perform, all at the same time. It's the beautiful no-brainer solution to in-season nutrition, and then you can also use it in the off-season if you want to create a recomposition effect. How do we do it? Body weight times 15. So this is in pounds. So if you are currently 175 pounds and you want to do a body recomposition diet, you would do 175 times 15. This is how many calories you're going to consume on a day-to-day basis. You're going to fluctuate a maximum of 2 pounds per week. So you have to have some allowance in there, but ideally your trend would be the same. So some weeks you might be 2 pounds higher, some weeks you might be 2 pounds lighter, some weeks you might be 2 pounds higher, and that's why I really recommend, we'll talk about it a little bit later, a weekly weigh-in, so you can create an average. Because if you gain 2 pounds this week, I don't want you to change your whole diet plan, because next week you might be back down 2 pounds. You got to allow some fluctuation in there as your body burns fat and builds muscle at the same time, because fat loss comes a lot quicker and easier than muscle gain. So we have to allow that fluctuation to balance itself out over time. But if you want to create body recomposition, your calories have to be in check. This is non-negotiable. How you're going to do it is body weight times 15. That's how many calories you eat on training days and on non-training days. And then allow a 2-pound fluctuation as the weeks go on. What are the macronutrients that are going to make up the calorie allotment? Protein, carbohydrates, or rather protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Very simple. You want 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So again, if you were 175 pounds, then you would do 175 times 1.2. And that's how many grams of protein you are going to consume every single day, training day, non-training day, on this plan. And it varies, right? If we want to drop body fat, this goes all the way up to 1.5 grams per pound. But if we want to build muscle mass, this goes down to 1 gram per pound. Recomposition is that beautiful sweet spot that we keep coming back to at 1.2 grams per pound. That's how much protein we're to consume on a daily basis. 25%. The reason why I like utilizing fats with respect to percentages is because that's how a lot of the research is broken down. Not necessarily per pound, but rather a percentage of total caloric allotment. And 25% of your caloric allotment is what's going to make up your fat content. So fats contain 9 calories per gram. So what you would do is, if I was 175, right, I would do 175 times 15. That's how many calories I'm going to have per day. Just an easy number, let's say that was 2,000 calories, okay? So now my allotment is 2,000 calories. Well, now in order to get my fat allotment, I just do 2,000 times 0.5, which is 500 calories. So I've got 500 calories of fat that I'm going to have in this day. Since fat is 9 calories per gram, 500 divided by 9 equals how many grams of fat I'm going to have per day. That equals exactly 25% of my daily diet. All right? Protein, 1.2 grams per pound. Fat at 25% of total caloric allotment. And then once you have protein and fat, carbs simply make up the rest. It's very easy peasy. Carbs are 4 calories per gram. So once your protein is set and once your fat is set, then you only have so much calories left. And carbs are going to make up the rest of that. All right? Stay very tight and strict with this macronutrient distribution, because body weight times 15 will not always net a recomposition effect unless you get your macronutrients right, okay? I have a good saying for memory tool. Calories determine your body weight, macronutrients determine what you look like at that body weight, and micronutrients determine how you feel at that body weight, okay? So calories have to be set to gain the weight goal that you have. Macronutrients need to be set to ensure you're lean and muscular at that weight goal you have. But then you need to eat clean foods to get the micronutrients so that you're healthy and performing well at that weight you're currently at. All right? So what are some tips and tricks that we can do here for in-season and creating a recomposition effect? Well, first off, that weekly weigh-in. I think that weekly weigh-in is very key to make sure body weight times 15 was right for you. Body weight times 15 is right for most people. However, having coached thousands of athletes, there is kind of a range. Body weight times 14 to 16, right? If you're a slower metabolism person, you might want to hang out around 14. If you are considered average metabolism, then body weight times 15 is great. But if you've got a very high metabolism, then maybe body weight times 16 is a good goal for you. But start at 15 and then just do weekly weigh-ins. Because you're going to find out very quickly if you're losing too much weight as you're falling out of these fluctuations on an averaged out basis, well then you're in a hypocaloric state and not in a state of recomposition. But the other way around, if you're gaining weight, well then you're definitely in a hypercaloric state and you're not in a state of recomposition. So weigh in each and every single week. Ideally, first thing upon waking, after your morning pee, step on the scale. That is going to be your most controlled, most reliable way in which you can track your weight once per week. Do it on the same day every single week. Next, I want you to be result motivated, okay? There's too many hockey players out there that are a slave to the scale. My weight's not going up, or my weight's not going down, or blah, 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 blah. Look, the point of a recomposition is that the weight doesn't move. So I want you to get this frickin' scale thing out of your head and be result motivated. Am I performing better on the ice? Am I recovering better after the ice? Am I performing better in the gym or at home with my at-home workouts or in the follow-along hockey training TV workouts? Be result motivated. You should always be result motivated, but for recomposition, you especially have to be result motivated because things happen a little bit slower. Because when you go all in on fat loss, you can kind of see a change in your body in the first couple weeks. And if you go all in on muscle gain, again, you can see some changes in your body in the first couple of weeks. But when you're in maintenance, your body does this thing where internally it's creating amazing changes for you, but they just take a little bit longer to reach the surface because you're building muscle and dropping body fat at the same time. So sometimes it can feel like, am I doing the right thing? Is this working for me? And many people are impatient. And that's why I want you to focus on results rather than what the scale looks like, because recompositions are supposed to take longer to see the major effects. You want to start seeing changes probably in that 4-week mark is very realistic for a recomposition. And it's honestly what you want during the in-season. You want that steady eddy. You want that stability of predictive performance and recovery, because that's exactly what you want. And then the off-season, just don't be a slave to the scale like a lot of other athletes are. Next, you want to have an emphasis on peri-workout. Peri-workout represents the whole window of pre, during, and post-workout. What I'll do during a recomposition diet with my athletes is actually put more of their carbs in this window, because carbohydrates have a way higher disposition to be stored as lean tissue rather than fat tissue if you keep them around the workout window. Very high level concepts such as insulin sensitivity, endogenous glycogen depletion, GLUT4 translocation, all of these things allow your glucose essentially and fructose, depending on what your strategy is, to be much more effectively taken up by lean tissue, such as the liver via fructose and skeletal muscle tissue via glucose, as opposed to going towards more body fat storage. This workout window, through energy expenditure and priming the body for lean tissue and muscle recovery and glycogen replenishment, this is a beautiful period where you can put a lot of calories in there and stay lean. That's basically what I'm saying here. That's what I like to do as a peri-workout emphasis. So even though you are controlling your macros and controlling your calories, it's not necessarily the calories and macros that are going to make the biggest difference, but rather the physiology that those calories and macros are going into. And if that physiology is primed for maximum protein synthesis and maximum glycogen replenishment, like it is pre, intra, and post-workout, then you are going to be at a lot higher percentage chance of success rate of building muscle and dropping body fat at the same time. So have that peri-workout emphasis. It also comes along with a lot of other amazing benefits, such as better performance, better recovery, better muscular pumps, better hydration, better progress. It's a real no-brainer. But when someone's recompositioning, I kind of put even extra carbs, not more from what this daily allotment was. So I try to jam almost all of it in that window, and that really helps athletes stay lean in a state of recomposition. And then lastly, IIFYM stands for if it fits your macros. So if it fits your macros means that you can sneak a treat in once in a while, because it's going to allow you to essentially have a treat without going off track because you accounted for it. So for example, let's, what would be an example here? A banana. A banana is a pretty close example. A banana is about 30 grams of carbohydrates, but so is a can of Coke. So if somebody was like, oh, geez, I really want Coke. I miss it so much. What can I do? Okay, well, I can remove that banana and I can add in the Coke. That will still meet your macros and meet your calorie allotment, so you will still be in a state of recomposition. Now, yes, is the banana way healthier than the Coke? Of course. And that's why I said once in a while you can utilize if it fits your macros so that you stay within your macro and calorie allotment, but you don't allow yourself to go off track. And the reason why I bring this up is because I'm a pretty big fan of calculating in little treats once in a while in a state of recomposition, because when you're eating at maintenance, weekends can really screw it up, because people will eat at maintenance all week, but then overeat on the weekend because that's when they go out to restaurants, that's when they order food, that's when they drink alcohol, that's when they do all of this stuff, right? So you eat at maintenance all week, and then you're in a hypercaloric state on the weekend, but then you just go back to maintenance. So it's like you actually end up gaining weight over time because it's like maintenance and then the weekend, and then maintenance and then the weekend, and then maintenance and then the weekend. And it's like, hang on, Coach Garner said I was going to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. I want to live. I want to still go crazy on the weekends. It's like, okay, just account for it. Because sometimes you can get away with that in a diet and it'll still be low, and then the weekend's only up a bit, but then you're still dieting, so it's low, and then you kind of you can kind of stay on track that way. But when you're in maintenance, cheat meals can really kill you. So I'd really want you to incorporate it if it's a part of your lifestyle. I would want you to incorporate it just so you don't go outside of this, so you do truly get a recomposition effect, because if you don't do that, then you're kind of just in hypercalorism and you're on a bulking diet rather than a recomposition diet. Okay? I hope all this made sense. This is the optimal way to eat during the in-season. It's also the best possible way to eat in the off-season if you want to create a recomposition effect. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Let's go.